Pokemon is so easy that I'm going to beat it with the help of my toddlers. This is part 2 of this series, but if you missed part 1, the rules are as follows. Number 1, each episode will cover through beating the next gym. For this episode, I'm going to take down Gardenia. Number 2, my girls have chosen encounters for each section of the game, and each team will be retired at the end of their section. Number 3, each team member must battle one of the gym leader's Pokemon. Without further ado, let's get started. When I first wake up, I like to go for a walk around the block, wake myself up, get some sunlight, and get my blood pumping. With that done, let's check the to-do list for today. Catch my 3 encounters, defeat Team Galactic Grunts, defeat Commander Mars, meet Cheryl, explore Eterna City, meet Cynthia, and defeat Gardenia. Let's get after it. Oh, and in case you forgot, we're joined by Alex Horn the Bidoof. She's our chief assistant until we get our first legit encounter, since our previous team retired at the end of the last episode. Our route to the next gym takes us back through Jubilife City. There, we find Rowan and Dawn being accosted by a pair of Star Command cadets. Naturally, I have to help them solve all their problems. Alex teams up with Dawn's Chimchar to take down Glameow and Stunky. Chimchar does some heavy lifting, burning the cat to death. Stunky is a bit more durable, but he eventually falls to second-degree burns, which is much worse than Glameow's fate. Alex Horn and I come to Ravaged Path, where our path is ravaged by breakable rocks. So, I teach Alex Horn to smash rocks and unravage our path. She truly is the best assistant. We nimbly dodge the remaining trainers on Route 204 to arrive in Floaroma Town. That means we've unlocked a new encounter. First, we have several options in the Valley Windworks. The girls chose between Buizel, Shellos, Pachirisu, and Drifloon. Unsurprisingly, they chose the cute squirrel Pachirisu. His name is Fred. Unfortunately, I have to grind up a few levels because he's going to have to carry us to the next gym. At level 13, Fred learns Spark, which will be his signature move for sure. With his newfound power, Fred electrocutes a few Galactic Grunts, which earns us the key to the Valley Windworks. I also get some honey, which unlocks a new encounter. Except, this would give us more team members than Gardenia based on my rules. And when the girls narrowed the 4 areas to 3 Pokemon, they did not choose their Honey Tree encounter. Since I can't catch a Combee, I infiltrate the Valley Windworks and confront Mars. Things start poorly when Zubat survives Fred's Spark, and they don't get much better. Zubat goes down easily, but Perugly hits very hard. Not even retaliating with Bide is enough to put down Mars's cat, leading to our first on-screen whiteout. I quickly level Fred up once more for a small power boost, then I hand him an orange that I found in town. Let's try again. This time, Zubat goes down without a problem. Perugly comes in and very quickly hits Fred with a critical hit, forcing our berry to be consumed after only 2 hits. But Fred declaws the cat, which, disclaimer, you should never do, scores a critical hit of his own, and paralyzes the cat. I think this qualifies for animal cruelty, and it makes Mars's earlier reaction make a lot more sense. After that insane series of events, Fred makes quick work of Perugly, defeating the first Galactic Commander and completing our second achievement. Now it's time to head north to Eterna City, but I need to dodge as many trainers as possible for grinding my next 2 encounters. Plus, there are several hikers with ground Pokemon, which would be bad for Fred. But we make it through without any trouble, reaching Eterna Forest and meeting Cheryl. Cheryl's nervous about Team Galactic being around, but since Fred has defeated 100% of the Galactic members in the game so far, she trusts us to lead her through the forest. There are 2 mandatory battles here, but Fred easily handles them pretty much single-handedly. Then we dodge the remaining trainers and repel all wild encounters to reach Eterna City. Exploring the city, we find one of Rowan's aides, but he's gatekeeping his experience share until we see 5 new Pokemon. So rude. We also get an explorer's kit from a random old man, though we turn down his offer to learn about the underground. Sorry dude, I simply have no interest in digging tunnels. Lastly, we check out Rad Rickshaw's bike shop. But he's not here, so I guess we'll come back later. Oh well, that at least unlocks our next achievement. In my explorations, I also found this kid in the condos who wants to trade for a Buizel. This unlocks my next encounter. When given a choice between the forest Pokemon and Chatot, my girls chose the bird. I think they just like birds, which makes sense given how they react to the grackles at the grocery store. Anyway, I return to Valley Windworks, thanks to it being nighttime, catch a Buizel, and trade it for Charappa the Rappa. He's going to need some levels, but we'll deal with that later. On our way out of town, we run into Barry again. He leads us to a nondescript statue, then tells us the greatest challenge run idea ever. After he leaves, we're stopped by another casual trainer named Cynthia. Pretty cool stuff, I'm sure you'll agree. With all that plot out of the way, we continue to Route 211, then sneak past a hiker into Mount Coronet, unlocking our next encounters. The girls had the choices on screen to choose from, and I'm not sure why they chose what they did. I would have expected Chingling probably, but nope, they chose Nose Pass. I I catch him and name him George. And that's all of our encounters. With that done, I have a secret to tell you. Come closer. Closer. Just a little bit closer. Remember how I said this? He's going to need some levels, but we'll deal with that later. Well, it's later now. I have 2 Pokemon in dire need of experience, so I return to Rowan's assistant, show off my Pokedex, and receive the experience share, which I then give to Charappa. Now, it's grind time. Grinding does 2 things for me. 1, it reveals a future problem for the Gardenia battle, and it allows George to evolve into Probopass. I wrap up this grind session with Charappa on level 17, George on 21, and Fred on 22. Alex Horn is just here for moral support. Now, I can show you the problem I discovered. I send Charappa to fight Alas's Roselia, and she disobeys more than my Toddlers. Sometimes she does literally nothing, sometimes she chooses a random other move, and other times she just hits herself. It's quite problematic, and honestly, kind of humiliating. I understand a pseudo-dragon like Charizard disobeying a dumb 10-year-old like Ash, but this is a gimmick bird with a music note for a head, and I've been playing Pokemon for my entire life. Anyway, let's challenge Gardenia and see if I can keep my bird conscious this time. Round 1 is Fred versus Turtwig. The turtle immediately sets up Reflect, and my only special attack does hardly any damage. So Fred charms the Turtwig, then manages to paralyze her after about 20 hits of Spark. Gardenia even uses a super potion to prolong the battle, but eventually Fred comes out on top, with only 4 HP remaining. Gardenia then sends in her Cherrim, so I swap for George. Luckily, Turtwig's Sunny Day expired, otherwise this flower would have been buffed. But it's still not an easy fight. Even without Reflect, George lacks the strength to deal much damage. Ironic for a Pokemon that is literally made of steel. Meanwhile, his metal body is much more susceptible to DOT from Leech Seed and fall damage from Grass Knot, meaning he eventually falls without much evidence that he was even in here. That leaves me with the wild card, Charappa. Excuse me for a moment. Now listen here, you derpy little bird. I know I just made fun of you like 30 seconds ago, but I really need you to pull yourself together for this battle. Don't make us both look like fools, okay? If you win this for me, you can be my channel mascot for the rest of the year. Okay, sorry about that. Charappa comes in and I select her signature move, Chatter. And she obeys. It's an easy one hit on Cherrim, leaving the battle as basically a 1v1. And as promised in the thumbnail, it's Roserade versus Chatot. I switch to Pluck, knowing that Roserade has much worse physical defense. Roserade obviously moves first and paralyzes Charappa with Stun Spore. My little Songbird fights through the paralysis and hits. That deals massive damage and steals her Citrus Berry. Now I just need one more hit. Focus up, Charappa. Gardenia's Roserade slings a flurry of magic leaves, but Charappa takes it like a champ. Then she fights through paralysis again and hits again. 3 consecutive obedient turns, and Charappa single-handedly turned this battle around. What a surprise. Gardenia gives us the Forest Badge and the TM for Grass Knot, which will be useful later. For now, I have to celebrate Charappa's achievement. With that done, it's time to head to the Pokemon Center. I heal up the team and send them off to retirement in the box. While I'm there, I check on the old guard and discover that Muichiro has grown up a bit. Phil and Lil are still their little kid selves though. And as always, we still have little Alex Horn by our side as we head into the next episode. I'll see you all there. Later, nerds.